So financing the deep state, financing the rigging of the swamp. This is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. How is it exactly that Deutsche Bank, Credit Suisse, JP Morgan Chase, WaMu, Wachovia, Wells Fargo, let's not forget those western banks of Texas, and Citibank and Superior Bank and Countrywide and all these other select portfolio services. How is it that all of these bankster slobs are still in business? Why is it that the largest and most crooked banks in the history of the world are laundering money for narcotics traffickers and weapons traffickers and human traffickers, sex traffickers? How is it that the swamp is financed? How do they rig everything, Donald Trump? Why is Danske Bank, Deutsche Bank, Credit Suisse, HSBC, UBS, why is it that Lloyd's and, what are the name of all them other banks there? It'll come to me here in a second, having a little brain freeze. But you've got a banking system that has bought the whole system. So they're financing and rigging the swamp, the deep state, with all this dirty, crooked money from all the banks and the insurance companies and the drug cartels and the sex trafficking cabals and all this other filthy slop that seems to be some of the favorite things to do for Deutsche Bank. When does it stop, folks? How is it stopped? Is it stopped by alleging to federal courts that the money that's being used to finance so-called mortgages, where are they getting all the money to fund and invest in these subprime predatory mortgages? Is it coming from narcotics trafficking, sex trafficking, weapons trafficking, looting and robbing and fixing LIBOR and the gold markets? How is it that they do that, Donald J. Trump? And you got these people like Jeff Sessions, William Barr, Eric Holder, Loretta Lynch, what's his name there, old Alberto Gonzales from Texas, George Bush's Attorney General with John Ashcroft. Let's start asking the big questions. How is it that all these great big gangsters like Zions Bank and a few of the other London-based banks, I'm trying to remember the name of that one London-based bank, it'll come to me here in a minute, and all these Switzerland, Zurich and Zug, and Cayman Islands and offshore and Canary Islands and Panama, the old Panama banks. How is it that the swamp is being financed? How are they rigging all these international elections, William Barr? You used to be a CIA lawyer. You ought to be able to explain which banks are moving the CIA's money. And the Department of Homeland Security and the SEC and the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency and the United States Treasury. Who is it precisely that's financing the United States government? Would it be these slobs that ripped off the world for about 36 trillion dollars in their banking schemes and then paid a $25 billion fine? How big is how many fines were actually paid, and how were these fines paid precisely? Was it the bailout money used to pay all the fines? They used the bailout money to pay the fines, Donald Trump. Now come on, ladies and gentlemen, wake up. It's time for a hard and long and deep look into how it is that they're paying to finance the deep state. The swamp, as old Donald Trump calls it. Where's the money coming from, Donald? coming from the people who finance your real estate empire? No, don't tell me that. Oh my God, huh, Donald Trump? So folks, I'm going to leave it right there before it gets too complicated. Look for all the links below. You can do all the research you want to on these subjects down below there. And as always, hasta la vista. God bless, and you betcha we're coming back.